Namaste, my lovely friends. Welcome to Yoga Bliss with Shelly. Today's practice is yoga stretch. So if you would like any props, I'm going to have a blanket and a couple of blocks over there on my mat. You can join me with that, and if not, you can just bring your beautiful self. And together, let us unroll the mat, unpeel those little edges that like to stick up, and together, let us do this. Welcome back, my beautiful friends. Join me in a hero's pose. So whatever that looks like for you. I know that there are a lot of people who cannot even get here. So this is just tracking the legs back. If you need to sit up, a block is great here. You can also grab yourself a chair and sit down here. You can use a block. You can, if those legs are just not cooperating and you need to bring them forward, you can kind of get yourself into a seated position that works best for you. I'm going to start in a hero's pose with my feet, getting a little stretching on the feet here. So join me in however works best for you in your body. And just allow yourself to exhale, maybe wiggle out the hands a little bit. Take a moment and just show up where you are. And let's just take the neck and slowly tick-tock it from shoulder to shoulder, inhaling to one side and exhaling to the opposite side. So this yoga stretch, we're going to just stretch our body and move it around and give some love here. Now we're going to take the shoulders and we're going to inhale, stretching and bringing them up towards the ears, really squeezing the shoulder blades like you're pinching a pencil together and opening through that front body, and exhale, diving forward. So really mindfully, really kind of digging into those crunchy, crusty spots in the shoulders. And if your feet are just like not working up like that, that was really getting my goat. So in this hero's pose too, you know you can actually touch your tippity toes together and sink the heels open if that feels good for you. And again, you can use that block if that is something that you need for a little extra support here. And a blanket, because my sit bones are not really working that great today for that. So allowing props to help you. So really just bringing the awareness to the shoulders and just slowly take it isolated one at a time. So bring the right shoulder up and down, left shoulder up and down. Inhale up, exhale down. Awesome work. So meeting me back at center, so whatever direction you were going, now we're going to go the opposite direction. So I was going backwards, and now we're going to inhale, raising forward. And really this time now we're going to stretch and open that back body, because before we were crunching the shoulder blades together. So as we come forward now, we're really going to open up the front back body and compress, squeezing together that front body. Using your breath, however works best for you. Just remembering that inhale, exhale. And the exhale, which I love to know, is the most powerful part of breath. It's that letting go. And now we're going to isolate it, right? Take one shoulder at a time in that same direction. So just stretching that back body, stretching that front body. Oh, it feels good. Maybe you want to do a little floppy arm dance. Maybe like you're paddling a little boat. And you've got to move yourself. It actually feels so good in those shoulders. Awesome work, my friends. And from the core, we're going to just activate the navel towards the spine as we hinge forward and bringing the hands into a tabletop position. So if you did have the blanket or the block, you can move that out of the way. And if you are practicing on hard floors, I definitely recommend getting that blanket underneath of your knees to support healthy joints. I have this nice rug that is feeling great today. So from here, we're going to just do this little kind of vinyasa little flow. So we're going to enjoy is also doing his puppy stretches too. Scooch over. Excuse me. So from here, we're just going to kind of stretch back like you're going towards a child's pose, but not quite. And just take a moment here. And then we're going to exhale forward And so this is going to be different from like a traditional push-up where the arms wing out, right? We're going to hug into the body, almost like we're doing a chaturanga. And you're going to hug the elbows in towards the knitted ribs, and then we're going to exhale, and we're going to dive all the way down to the belly. And from here, we're going to inhale, raising it for a little baby cobra. And you can always have the option here to take a sphinx, which is just the hands are going to be tracked forward with a wide open starfish hand. And this is just going to bring this little baby gentle bend to the back here. And I really encourage you to bring that breath in and let it flow out. Awesome work. Now we're going to bring those hands back underneath the shoulders, and from the core, hugging the navel back towards the spine and knitting the ribs together and really driving the elbows towards the rib cage. And we're going to press back. We're just going to kind of take this at our own pace. So coming back and then forward, hugging in and all the way down to the belly. Inhale, cobra. So exhale back here. And maybe let's take a moment here to bend up the knees and come forward a little bit here and really draw that navel up towards the spine. We're going to just windshield wipe a little bit. Feels a little funny. If it feels a little funny, you can walk. For me, that was feeling really funny, so I'm going to walk more back into this tabletop position. And I'm going to just windshield wiper the feet side to side. Or maybe just taking a free moment if it feels good to bounce forward and back, and maybe just get a little curious in the hips and wiggle out the hips from side to side and making some circles with the hips and just really tuning in. How is it feeling in the hips today? Just slowly taking some nice little stretches there. While we're using that breath, inhaling it in and breathing it out. And maybe this next one we can bring the sit bones closer towards the heels and then move them further away from us. So making bigger circles with the hips and coming all the way back. So do 2 more of those at your own pace. And maybe using the inhale on the rise up and pushing the exhale on the sink back. 1 more. Exhale. Okay, now we're going to meet in neutral in the center, and then we're going to go the opposite direction you were going. So again, getting a little curious, a little playful in the hips here, and just working into those spaces that maybe feel a little tight, those spaces that are like, ouch, working into those crunchy little spots in the hips, and slowly just spiraling that circle and getting it a little bit wider, getting maybe a little bit more curious. And if it's not in your practice, you just keep those spirals however you would like. And really just focus too in on the hands, right? We're moving our hips, but and the elbows, my elbows keep trying to wing out. So doing your best to activate through the biceps as you hug the biceps in towards the midline, which is that center vertical line of the body that runs from the top of the head all the way down between the legs. Okay, now get that circle nice and big, and if you can, sinking the sit bones towards the heels and coming big forward. Even noticing that in your shoulders and your core. So do 3 of those big round rotations at your own pace. Good job. Feeling into those crickety-poppity spots? Yes, 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 it's the good work. Awesome. We're going to come back, bringing those hands forward, knitting the ribs together, hugging the elbows in towards the ribs, slowly floating to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Gentle back bend here. So we're going to just lift in. We're going to hug in through these thighs down here and our sit bones. This can be one of those poses where you just let your legs splay open. If you have a yoga block, a great way to help yourself is you could bring the yoga block between your thighs to help yourself keep it zipped up together, because a lot of times we'll do poses and our body is just doing what it wants to. So we're directing our body in the right direction. You can also allow yourself to float into the Sphinx here, which sometimes I just love myself a good Sphinx when you track the hands forward, bringing that breath in, letting it go. Now let's just peek over our left shoulder. So peeking over the left shoulder, feeling whatever is going on in your neck, in the upper shoulders, in the middle back, and even in the lower back here. Bringing that stretch through the spine, this little back bended twist. Letting it go. Meeting your head back at center, facing that short edge of your mat, and peeking over the opposite shoulder. So as you peek over the opposite shoulder, feeling again that stretch in the spine, feeling it tracing all the way through the upper cervical spine to the lumbar and the thoracic vertebrae. Letting it go, squeezing those booty muscles together, squeezing the inner thighs together here. Yes, good work. From here, bringing those hands back underneath of the shoulders, pressing firmly into the earth. Coming back here. And so however it looks for you to get into your child's pose. So for me, I love big toes touching big toes. I was off of my mat, so climbing back on the mat, opening those legs up wide, sinking back into the sit bones. And you can take either Bhaktasana or Balasana, which is child's pose or devotional pose. So arms forward or back. I know for my husband, he cannot sink his sit bones back, so he's got to be way up here. So if you're way up here, don't worry about the properness that you think that you need to be in this pose, and just allow yourself to just take a moment and let your body get into the pose, and then let your body melt into the pose. I like in yoga, there's this Supta and Stira, and it's kind of like finding, you're getting into the pose, but then you're also finding comfort and ease into the pose, which kind of sounds weird, thinking, what, how do you get into a pose and then just melt into it? Because, right, you can activate your body into something, and then you can just allow this almost like melting. I like to imagine maybe like a hot pancake or a hot piece of toast, and you take just like a little butter slice and just watch it melt, and you can imagine your body is like that butter, just warmly melting, and allowing yourself to just breathe a really nice fluid breath through the back of the heart space and expanding through the ribs. And allowing an exhale through the nose if that works for you. And taking 4 breaths at your own pace as you just find that comfort and ease here in this pose. Awesome. Really just feeling how it's going in the body, and just allowing yourself to notice all the thoughts swirling around. Maybe notice the lingering emotions trying to get your attention. Or notice the to-do list that's coming in saying, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you need to be doing this. And just be the noticer. Wonderful work. From here, we're going to walk the hands under the shoulders, and we're going to come up. Awesome work, my beauties. Right, so we're going to find this tabletop position. And if you haven't already, you can allow the tops of the feet to track long. From the center, we're going to hug the navel up towards the spine, and if you are facing my same direction, I'm not mirroring you right now, so we can just do the same side to side. We're going to take that right arm, and we're going to inhale it up high to the sky, and then we're going to exhale like we're threading a piece of thread through a needle hole right here. And you're going to allow this arm to go long here, and then you're going to rest on the temple. I know when I first started doing this pose, I could not figure this out, and I was trying to lay on my head, my ear, my neck. So just really get out of your head and feel what feels best. So with this arm laying long, you can post up on the left hand on the earth. I know if you are on my same side, you're going to be facing away from me. Or you can take a soft little bind, which is just tucking that hand behind the back or putting it on the hips here. And just allowing yourself this nice, beautiful stretch in the shoulder. I know I've off and on had a shoulder injury for almost 2 months that is totally on its healing journey, but there are moments where it'll kind of and I can't fully get into this, so know that if your body's not allowing it, it's okay, and You can also have the option to try a pose, something different. Find a little free movement here. And just focus on that breath again. And let it go. And once again, just noticing the thoughts that are coming in. Notice maybe any tension or tightness or discomfort or even stress that you're holding on to, and just notice it. Practicing yoga is so incredible for life because it just helps us learn how to just be where we are and sit with what is happening here. Awesome. And it also brings this sense of healing and also this physical health, mental and emotional health, and even spiritual health. Bringing that breath in and letting it go. 2 more, my friends. Let it go. Good work. Awesome. And from here, my friends, we're going to root that left hand into the earth if you're on my same side. And then we're going to unthread our needle and bring that hand all the way up high, touch the stars, and then back down to the earth. Maybe just take a little moment here. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So now you're going to root that right hand in from the core. Inhale, raising that left hand up high, and exhale, threading through. And again, just knowing that your body is your body, and you have to find what feels good for you, and find, that edge, that space between too much and not enough. So you can post that up top hand up, or you can give it that little soft bind, just bending behind, or you can just rest that palm on kind of like the top of the hip or down to the booty, whatever feels best for you as you bring that breath in and letting that breath go. Really just again noticing, and perhaps you can find a little space here, whether it's finding space between the breath or finding a little bit of pause between the thoughts, or even just searching your body for like a tense space and just feeling what it feels like in that space without judging it or thinking there's something wrong. Just feeling into that discomfort or tightness or whatever it is. Using that breath to come in and allow it to go. One more big inhale, my friends. And letting it go. Now bringing that top hand to the earth, pressing in, unthreading the needle, up high to the sky. Awesome work, my friends. From here, we're going to just step that right foot forward. And if you have some blocks, which I love, or you can even have some hardback covered books, or you could do soup cans. Soup cans might be a little bit small if you have 2 hefty water bottles here. And we're going to just stretch forward and use those blocks as some support here. And then we're going to rock back into the sit bone. So really feeling what it's feeling like. You can come up on the tip of the toe and release that leg long, and just breathe into the back hind leg as well as that front foot. And my heel on the front is lifted off of the earth. If it feels better for you, you can definitely root that foot all the way down into the earth. Just feel what feels good for you. Oh, so good. Breathing that breath into those tight spots. Yike, yike, yikes. And letting it go. Now we're going to exhale, sinking back. And however this looks for you, if you can get to a space where you can kind of sink back enough, you can push that heel forward, and we're going to point those toes up to the sky. And so really notice how your body is, I know mine is liking to favor and push over onto the rooted leg, onto the earth. So really doing your best to pull your center together, right? Because our body sometimes gets lazy and it just wants to, it's trying to save ourselves, right? It's like that response. So we're going to inhale, trying to find your balance in this weird unbalanced pose. And I know for the longest time, I could not point my toes up. So if that's not vibing for you, you can definitely just put the foot flat on the earth. So if you do point those toes up high, you're really going to get this nice stretch to the calf and the back of the quads, the back of the hamstring. It feels super duper good. Use that breath. And really, if you would like to just really round that spine too, we're kind of really opening up this leg, and now we're going to compress kind of that front body and expand, really bringing that nice curve to the spine here. Awesome work. And then from here, we're going to root that foot into the earth. And then we're going to just inhale, ahaha, coming up for an Anjaneyasana. So you can have the option to track this foot toes long, or if it feels good, you can bring it on up. And we're going to just inhale those arms high to the sky here for this little crescent lunge. So if it feels good, you could stay here, or if you would like, you can follow me and give yourself that little back bend. You can bind the hands together. You could make a mudra, which is just the hand gesture. It could be a thumbs up, a peace sign, a Gayana mudra, the Ganesh mudra, which is just hands locking together. You can kind of find what feels good in your body, or maybe you just want to roll out your wrists. Bringing that breath in, and then we're going to exhale, hinging the heart forward, right? So we have these blocks, and we're going to just step that foot back. And my mat always likes to scoot off, so if you need to situate your mat or situate your body, you can do that. And then from here, we're going to step the opposite foot forward. And however this looks, if you need to give yourself a helping hand, or if you can just rock it out, rock it out. So we're going to step that foot forward, and we're going to once again come back and forward. And you don't have to have blocks, obviously. You might have them and you might not. And tune into that foot in the behind. If it feels better to track it long, or if you're feeling like you need a little bit more stretching in your foot, posting up like you're on that little kickstand foot is going to work better here. Bringing that breath in, exhaling it out. And just taking a moment to be a little more active as we move forward and back. Awesome work. And now we're going to come all the way, really bringing the weight into that front pad of the foot, and you can work the heel up off of the earth if that feels good. Also, if it feels better for you, you can leave it on the earth. And for me, I want to track that hind foot long. And from here, let's expand the front body. Remember, we were really rounding that spine dig. Let's really open that front body, really knitting the ribs together, bringing the elbows in, into the ribs, elbows in towards the ribs, bringing that inhale in. Really feeling the stretch in the leg laying long from the calf to the hamstring, the thigh, the hip, spiraling all the way into the glutes and the booty muscles, and tracking all the way up to the core, and really tuning into the biceps and the triceps, and tracking all the way up to the neck, and even how the head is feeling. Just noticing the stretch that is really radiating through the entire body here, which is what I love about yoga. Bringing that breath in and letting it go. Awesome. Bring that breath in. And now let's push it away. And we're going to come back towards the sit bones. So tune into your foot and that hind foot. I'm going to post mine up like that kickstand, and I'm going to sink back towards that heel. So we're going to sink back towards the heel. And then if you need, you can slide that foot forward. You can point the toes up to the sky, or if the foot needs to be down on the earth. We're going to kind of come in for this more rounded spine here. More tucking the chin in towards the chest. And feeling that opposite stretch. So I was sinking all the way back, and that wasn't feeling so great for me. So really just feel your body and feel where you need it. So if you're sinking all the way back, you're going to feel a different stretch than you are if you come up high. When you're coming up high, and again, just tune into your body. I know my knee needs a lot more bend here than maybe some. Just tune into you and know that there's not a right or a wrong way for yoga. I mean, we can definitely do things that can hurt our body, but know mostly that it's not a one-size-fits-all here. Breathing that breath in as you really allow that stretch to spiral up the leg, up the calf, up the hind leg, into the hips, and really rounding through the spine here. Awesome work. Bringing that breath in and letting it go. From here, we're going to just kind of hinge that weight forward, and if you need to step that foot back to get it rooted into the earth, rooting into the earth here. From the core, we're gonna inhale, coming up. If you're feeling super wobbly, it's because your legs are way too close together, so you could reset yourself up for success and get yourself more like you're on that train tracks or that set of skis, whatever vibes with you. Now we're gonna exhale. You can float the hands to the side, a bend here, or you can cactus the arms like so, or exhale, raising the hands high up to the sky. And really I want you to squeeze through your inner thighs and your glute muscles and shoot it all the way up, corseting around your core strength. Really feel this stretch in the lower body and allow it to radiate. And now shooting all the way to stretch up through the biceps and the triceps, all the way into all the muscles and the hands and the fingertips. Awesome work, my friends. Squeezing that all together here. Gentle back bend if that feels good. You could just tip that heart, opening that heart up wide, really giving yourself this nice little curvature of the spine. Beautiful work here. Arching, arching. Bringing that breath in and letting it go. 2 more breaths here. Letting that breath go. Awesome work, my friends. From here, we're gonna exhale, hinging the heart forward. If you have those blocks, you can allow those blocks. You can also use your hands all the way down to the earth, my friends, and then stepping that foot back here. Awesome work. From this tabletop position, we're going to step those hands forward or walk those hands forward, and we're going to get our little blocky blocks out of the way. And then however this works for you, we're going to exhale, meet in a plank position. So plank position is going to look different for everyone. Some of us may need to be down here. Really be aware of your spine and your core strength. So really we're going to hug that core strength in and bringing that body up. And then we're going to exhale, downward facing dog. So sinking those sit bones high up to the sky, hollowing through the front body and opening even through the shoulders. If you've had a shoulder injury, downward dog is not going to be your friend, so you can stay here, or you can even allow those arms to track long. Believe me, I know it can be a total pain in the patootie. So however you need to. And our whole purpose here is we're gonna exhale and we're gonna walk the feet to the top of the mat. We're gonna meet in a forward fold. And if you have those blocks, these can be an awesome helping friend here. You can just allow your feet to root like tracking on the insides of the hips, right? And then if you need this more generous bend to the knees, you're gonna have more of this generous bend to the spine. If you have straighter legs, you might find yourself being able to fold forward like more, like this lovely, like an envelope here. Just allowing your body to take a moment here in this really gentle inversion, really stretching the back body, stretching the arms forward. And then if it feels good, you can allow your arms to just go a little free. So really allow the arms to dangle. I know from my shoulder injury, it feels so good. It was kind of like part of a little physical therapy that I learned, is just really allowing those arms to swing, just slowly, really tuning into the ball and socket joint. Breathing that breath in. Awesome work, my friends. And maybe just taking a moment to tick-tock rock. And you can take that head even, and you can nod your head yes, nod your head no, nod your head yes, nod your head no. Hinging forward here. And we're gonna slowly, so really I want you to feel the weight of your hands and the weight of your head before you do anything. And our goal is, right, we're coming up to standing, but this is one of those poses where we can just come up way too fast. So I want you to take this slow and steady. So each vertebrae, we're going to slowly rise up, really allowing the head to go heavy, the arms to go heavy, allowing everything to be so heavy. And you're just really unwinding your spine, and the head is going to be the very last thing that rises up. And meeting me here in a standing position. Awesome work, my friends. We're gonna do one last standing pose before we wrap up today's practice of this yoga stretch. Thank you for joining me today. It feels really good. Sometimes it's just good to not do all the hard things and just stretch. So find a comfortable gait. Gait is like how you hold your feet, right? So if it feels better to open your legs up wide and really just root your feet into the earth. And we're gonna finish with just a little bit of this Qigong side twisting practice. So we're just gonna go side to side. If it feels good for you, you can make fists, or you can allow the hands just to go more loose. So you're just gonna allow this nice twist in the midsection. Did I say though, we want to keep our hips in place? I was feeling my hips wanting to journey. So really, you wanna ground your feet into the earth with this gentle bend to the knees. The hips are still, but it's just, we're getting this midsection to upper body twist in the shoulders. So really allow yourself to explore what it's feeling like in that midsection and upper spine and the shoulders and even the neck. The neck will be the last thing to follow. So allowing yourself to find an inhale to one side and an exhale to the opposite side. If you would like to completely test your center of gravity, close your eyes. Or you can just journey from side to side. You can find a soft gaze down. I know that I like to find a soft gaze down usually. And sometimes closing my eyes is like, I feel like I'm in a different dimension, so which can be fun too. So allowing yourself to just find this twist and let it go. And picking up the pace, going a little bit quicker, finding more momentum, bringing a little bit more energy in the body. Awesome work. Inhaling it in. Awesome. Exhale it out. And then we're going to just slow it down. We're slowing, and we're going to slow it on down. And then meeting me back at center as you really allow your body to kind of naturally find that gravitational pull towards the earth. Taking it slow and steady. And then meeting me in this is our mountain pose. And we're gonna just finish with the palms raising up here. I really encourage you to close your eyes here. And just feel what's going on inside of your body. Feeling maybe the muscles are a little bit looser, maybe your body's feeling more active and alive and energized. Maybe you're having that energetic tingle in the hands. Maybe your heart rate is elevated a little bit. Just allow yourself to feel all of it. Taking this moment to just tap inside. And just bringing the hands to the heart space. And we're going to slow down. We're going to finish with a little bit of a breath practice. So we're going to just finish with 5 breaths. So we're going to really focus on a purifying breath this time, which is a elongated inhale followed by an organic exhale. So taking 5 Puraka pranayamas at your own pace. And again, I encourage you to close your eyes for this. Bringing that breath in. Organically exhaling. Really long breath in. Letting it go. Last breath, my friends, make it count. Let it go. Just bringing those palms, kissing palms to the heart center. And just giving yourself so much gratitude. Thank you. Telling yourself thank you for showing up today. And honoring and acknowledging all the love and the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me for this yoga stretch class. I'm so grateful for you, and I will see you back here very soon.